What if I told you there's a chicken that's the foundation of global egg production? A layer so efficient, her existence has become a well-kept secret of commercial poultry. And what if I told you that her true treasure isn't the number of eggs she lays, but the genetic potential she holds? Today, you're going to learn the truth behind the Isa Brown chicken. We'll unravel the mysteries of her origin and reveal why she's such a perfect laying machine. But the real question is, what can you create with her genetics? What happens when a champion is crossed with a purebred? Is the result an even more prolific layer, or a bird that can do it all? Can you imagine a chicken that combines the production of the Isa Brown with the strength of a meat bird? Or one with her same efficiency but a completely different plumage and temperament? In the next few minutes, we'll explore the 3 most impressive crosses you can make with an Isa Brown hen. We'll show you how the Rhode Island Red, the New Hampshire, and the barred Plymouth Rock can transform the future of your flock. But that's not all. For the true enthusiasts, we'll explore something more. Can you imagine the genetic potential of the Isa Brown combined with colored egg layers? What would you get by crossing her with the famous Marans, the Autosexing, or the cream leg bar? While we haven't done these crosses ourselves, we'll delve into the fascinating world of genetics to predict what their offspring might be. This knowledge could change how you raise chickens forever. This is so much more than a video. It's a guide to creating the perfect layer. If you want to be a part of this community and never miss a single detail about poultry, I invite you to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. The Isa Brown isn't a purebred as we know them. She's a commercial hybrid created in France, where she gets her name. She's the result of decades of rigorous genetic selection, a process that has crossed multiple generations of birds to perfect a single characteristic: large-scale egg production. Unlike traditional breeds, which are more genetically stable, the Isa Brown is a hen engineered for a specific purpose. Her genetics are a well-kept secret, though most breeders know she's a cross between the Rhode Island Red and Rhode Island White breeds. However, the exact formula for these crosses is a patented mystery we'll explain in detail later. What we can tell you is that this process of hybrid vigor gives her a biological strength superior to her original parents. This combination makes her more resistant to disease and, most importantly, incredibly efficient at converting feed into eggs. It's this genetic inheritance that sets her apart from other layers. Purebreds have more homogeneous DNA, which sometimes makes them more susceptible to certain issues. The genetic diversity of the Isa Brown gives her an evolutionary advantage, allowing her to maintain consistent production and robust health. It's no coincidence she's dominated the global egg production market. However, being a hybrid also has its drawbacks. The Isa Brown cannot be used to reproduce the same line of chicks. If you breed 2 Isa Browns, the offspring will not inherit the same laying capacity or the same characteristics as their parents. The only way to get another Isa Brown is by purchasing chicks directly from a commercial hatchery, which is what makes her crosses with other purebreds so valuable for backyard breeders like us. When it comes to production, the Isa Brown is the undisputed queen. The number of eggs she can lay in a single year is simply astonishing. With the right care and feeding, a healthy Isa Brown can produce up to 320 eggs in her first year of life, a number that far surpasses most purebreds. This impressive laying capacity is why she has become the foundation of the global egg industry. Her production is not only high but also consistent. Unlike other breeds that may be seasonal layers, the Isa Brown maintains a constant pace year-round, even in less than ideal weather conditions, making her a reliable investment for any breeder, whether large-scale or in a backyard coop. The eggs she lays are large and a beautiful dark brown, a highly valued trait for consumers. The efficiency of the Isa Brown is another key factor in her success. This hen has one of the best feed-to-egg conversion ratios, meaning she consumes less feed to produce the same number of eggs as other layers. This trait makes her incredibly profitable, as it reduces feed costs and maximizes returns, an advantage that every breeder, no matter their size, values greatly. While her peak production occurs in her first year, the Isa Brown remains a prolific layer in her second and third years, although her pace will gradually decrease. This relatively long productive lifespan, combined with her low maintenance cost, makes her the ideal choice for anyone who wants high-quality fresh eggs on a regular and reliable basis. Beyond her production, one of the most appreciated characteristics of the Isa Brown is her temperament. These hens are known for being docile, friendly, and good-natured. Their calm nature makes them ideal for beginner breeders and for families with children, as they are not prone to aggression and get along well with other chickens in the flock. Their docility is not just a personality trait, it also contributes to their efficiency. A stressed hen does not produce well, and the calm demeanor of the Isa Brown allows her to better handle changes in her environment, such as the introduction of new birds or variations in feeding routines. This translates to more stable egg production and better overall health. The Isa Brown is also incredibly adaptable. They perform well in a wide range of climates, both cold and hot, as long as they are provided with adequate shelter. They can thrive in intensive farming systems or in a free-range environment, and in both cases they will maintain outstanding egg production. Her ability to adapt to different environments, combined with her docile nature, makes her an ideal bird for any type of farm, whether in an urban setting with a small backyard coop or on a large rural farm. She is a hen that not only produces but also integrates perfectly into farm life. The life cycle of the Isa Brown is optimized for production. From the moment they hatch, these chicks are known for their rapid growth, reaching maturity quickly. Isa Brown hens typically begin laying eggs very early, from 18 to 22 weeks of age, a trait that makes them very attractive to breeders looking for quick results. Their precocity is one of the reasons they are so profitable. Once they start laying, their production increases steadily until it reaches a peak. This period of maximum production, which occurs in their first year, is when they lay the most eggs. It's during this phase that the Isa Brown proves why she's considered the most prolific layer in the world. Her eggs are of a uniform size and a popular color. After their first year, the Isa Brown's egg production begins to decrease gradually. Although they will still lay a significant number of eggs in their second and third years, their pace will be slower, and egg size may vary. This gradual decline is something every breeder should consider when planning their flock's rotation. Finally, after their second or third year, the Isa Brown's production becomes less profitable, as her laying rate drops significantly. However, her ability to produce eggs consistently in her early years and her quick start to laying make her a very valuable investment. She is a hen that lives a short and productive life, fulfilling her purpose in an unmatched way. But now that we understand the perfection of the Isa Brown, it's time to get to the heart of this video. Let's start with the first cross. The cross of an Isa Brown hen with a barred Plymouth Rock rooster. The barred Plymouth Rock has a complex genetic makeup on its own due to a sex-linked gene on the Z chromosome known as the barred gene. This gene is dominant and directly influences the offspring. But when you combine it with the complex genetic world of the Isa Brown, the results are extraordinary. The Isa Brown, as we mentioned, is the result of an intense genetic improvement program by the French company ISA, which has worked for more than 35 years to create a layer with excellent feed conversion and a high persistence in egg production. And to achieve this perfection, the ISA company didn't just cross Rhode Island Red with Rhode Island White. Although those breeds were the foundation, to optimize production, resistance, and adaptability, they also introduced genes from other breeds, such as the Brown Leghorn and the New Hampshire. They even used the White Leghorn, which lays white eggs, and succeeded by first crossing it with the Rhode Island Red to get offspring with Leghorn qualities but with brown eggs. All this incredible variety of genes had to converge in two base breeds that would produce sexable chicks at birth, the Rhode Island Red on the paternal side and the Rhode Island White on the maternal side. It is this genetic cocktail, this super hybrid, that makes the cross with the barred Plymouth Rock so unpredictable and fascinating. The expression of the barred Plymouth Rock's genes was so dominant that we obtained a variety of colors we never would have expected. Most of the offspring from this cross between a barred Plymouth Rock rooster and an Isa Brown hen came out with four dominant colors: black, barred white, and barred white. These four basic colors that are frequently obtained in this cross of a barred Plymouth Rock rooster with an Isa Brown hen do not completely rule out the possibility of some chicks being born with other colors or patterns, since, as we saw, the complex genetic world of the Isa Brown hen can cause her recessive genes to be expressed at any time. Next, we are going to break down each of these colors one by one and explain the reason for this genetic phenomenon. Let's start with the white variety. Can you imagine a hen, the offspring of an Isa Brown, that is completely white? Well, it's possible, and it's due to a gene the Isa Brown inherited from her mother, the Rhode Island White. We are talking about the I gene, which is the color inhibitor gene. This gene is dominant and has a single purpose: to inhibit the expression of pigments in the feathers, resulting in a white plumage. If the chicks inherit this gene from the Isa Brown mother, they can be born completely white. As you can see in this beautiful specimen, the color is predominantly white, although in some cases they may have small black spots if the gene does not completely inhibit the color, which is very common in commercial hybrids, such as broilers. The body shape of this white hen is beautiful, with a physical appearance very similar to a barred Plymouth Rock, but with a predominantly white plumage. The partial barred variety, white and brown. Here we have one of the most interesting results. It's possible for some offspring of this cross to show a partial barred pattern in specific areas like the wings, chest, and neck, with a brown and white color instead of the classic black and white. This is due to the interaction of several genes that affect the color and pattern of the plumage. Although the barred gene is dominant at first glance, its expression is affected by other genes contributed by the ISA brown. For example, the I gene could reduce the intensity of the barring in certain areas. And the brown-colored gene from the ISA brown could influence the shade of the barring, transforming it into a brown and white pattern instead of black and white. This genetic variation is common in hybrid crosses and reflects the complexity of the parent's color inheritance. The classic barred variety. We can also observe a beautiful hen whose barred pattern is very similar to that of a barred Plymouth Rock hen, but with some differences. It's possible for the daughters of this cross to show barring with darker tones on a large part of the body and a predominantly whiter barring in areas like the face, neck, and chest. This is because, in the females produced by this cross, the barring may be less uniform because they only have one copy of the barred gene. If the ISA brown contributes the extended black gene, this can darken certain areas of the body, making some areas look darker. This barring has wider bars on a large part of the body, giving the impression of being predominantly black at first glance, but when you look closely, you can certainly see that they have a barring in their plumage. The black variety. And finally, we have the completely black chickens. This occurs due to the genetic interaction between the parents. The solid black color is a manifestation of the barred gene, but it's masked by the extended black gene, which is contributed by the ISA brown. If the extended black gene is present, it can hide the visual effect of the barring, making the plumage appear completely black. In avian genetics, plumage patterns can be influenced by multiple factors, including the dominance of certain genes and the interaction between them. The 4 varieties of chickens that result from this cross, despite their color differences, share a set of productive characteristics that make them an excellent choice for any breeder. In terms of egg production, these hens are extraordinary. Although they don't reach the ISA brown's levels under industrial conditions, they maintain an impressive yield, with an average of 280 to 300 eggs per year. This peak production is reached around 28 weeks of age, at which point they achieve their maximum efficiency. In addition to their high productivity, the sexual maturity of these birds is remarkably early, a trait inherited from the ISA brown. They generally begin laying their first eggs between 20 and 22 weeks of age, which allows for consistent egg production in a short period. The eggs they lay are large, with an average weight ranging from 2.1 to 2.3 ounces, 60 to 65 grams, and their shell is strong and an attractive dark brown. As for their physical development, these birds are robust and have a good weight, combining hybrid vigor with the Plymouth Rock structure. At their full sexual maturity, hens reach a weight of between 4.4 to 5 pounds, 2 to 2.3 kilograms, while roosters are heavier, with an average of 7.7 to 8.8 pounds, 3.5 to 4 kilograms. Their temperament is another plus. The docility of the ISA brown and the friendly nature of the Plymouth Rock combine to create birds that are calm, curious, and easy to handle, ideal for family flocks and for those new to poultry farming. Finally, their brooding instinct is practically non-existent. As commercial hybrids, these hens have been genetically selected to channel all their energy into egg production, so they rarely go broody. This is an advantage for the breeder who seeks constant, uninterrupted production. In short, this cross produces efficient, fast-developing, and excellent-tempered hens that are much more than a single-purpose bird. Let's move on to the second cross, the one with a New Hampshire rooster and an ISA brown hen. In terms of productivity, it's not the same to cross a New Hampshire rooster with an ISA brown hen as it is the other way around. To understand this, we must grasp something fundamental about avian genetics. In egg production, both the rooster and the hen contribute important genetic qualities, but in very different ways. The hen is the one who directly lays the egg. Therefore, her genetics have a primary influence on the quantity, size, shell quality, and persistence of laying. The genetic lines of laying hens are intensely selected for these characteristics, which means that using the hen with the highest genetics for egg production will always be a clear advantage for the offspring. On the other hand, the rooster contributes half of the genetic information. Although he doesn't lay eggs directly, his genetics influence the viability of the chicks, the health of the future hens, and, above all, their body constitution. A rooster with good genetics can transmit traits that contribute to the health and robustness of his daughters, making them physically stronger. Now, with this information in mind, let's quickly see what happens if we cross an Isa brown rooster with a New Hampshire hen. In this case, the offspring would have a mother with moderate egg production. And even though the Isa brown rooster comes from a high production line, he is not genetically designed to transmit that quality in the same way as the hen. That's why the productivity of the daughters in this cross will be lower, closer to the range of a purebred New Hampshire. The New Hampshire rooster is a purebred that descends directly from the Rhode Island Red, and his robustness and good constitution are unmatched. When crossed with an Isa brown, the results are extraordinary. The first thing we must consider is that when crossing this breed and this hybrid hen, there will be variability in the offspring. Not all the chicks will look exactly the same, but we will see the most probable tendencies that we could confirm in this cross. It should be noted that the specimens being shown are real images of this cross. As for the plumage color, the specimens resulting from this cross show a mix of their parents' colors. You will see a variation ranging from reddish to brown tones, with some white or black feathers on the neck and tail. The intensity of the color is more similar to that of the Isa brown mother, although the influence of the New Hampshire can make some look darker, but not as dark as the Isa brown. Body size is one of the most important aspects of this cross. The Isa brown is a slender, medium-sized bird. In contrast, the New Hampshire rooster is large and robust with a deep, wide body. This combination is fantastic, as the offspring will have an intermediate size, larger than an Isa brown, but not as robust as a purebred New Hampshire. These resulting hybrid chickens will tend to have a much stronger constitution than the Isa brown, which could be beneficial in certain environments like meat production. Furthermore, the hybrid vigor of the cross gives them greater resistance to certain diseases that often affect high production layers. While an Isa brown can be susceptible to health problems related to intensive laying, the offspring inherit greater resistance from the New Hampshire father, a breed known for its general vigor and adaptability. The sexual maturity of the offspring is at an intermediate point between their parents, beginning to lay their first eggs between 18 and 22 weeks of age. By inheriting the precocity of the Isa brown mother, the hens from this cross start their laying much earlier than other heavier purebreds. In terms of egg production, you can expect a very high yield in the range of 280 to 300 eggs per year in their first laying cycle. The influence of the New Hampshire could slightly moderate production, but they will still be very efficient layers, as productive as other recognized commercial hybrids. The egg quality is also outstanding. The offspring will produce large eggs with an average weight of 2.1 to 2.3 ounces, 60 to 65 grams. The shell color will be a beautiful brown, as both parents carry the genes for this color egg, although the intensity may vary slightly. As for their temperament, the offspring of this cross are docile and manageable. They are friendly, sociable, and easy to raise, which makes them ideal for any type of farm. Finally, let's talk about feed conversion. The Isa brown has been selected for her extreme efficiency, requiring a relatively low amount of feed to produce a large number of eggs. The New Hampshire, being a dual-purpose bird, is not as efficient in feed conversion. However, in the hybrid, the offspring will have good feed conversion that leans toward the Isa brown's efficiency. It's an excellent balance that allows you to take advantage of both egg production and the good body growth of these birds. Now let's move on to one of the most popular crosses in the poultry world, the cross of a Rhode Island Red rooster and an Isa brown hen. Imagine for a moment the majestic Rhode Island Red, a bird with an imposing presence, a deep red plumage, and a look full of vigor. A rooster who embodies strength and resilience, a guardian of the flock with a dual-purpose legacy, abundant eggs and quality meat. Now picture the Isa brown, a hybrid hen, a docile and efficient egg-laying machine, a true gem of modern poultry. What happens when these two worlds meet? What secrets does their offspring hold? What genetic wonders unfold before our eyes? Get ready to see a spectacle of unique colors and characteristics. The male offspring of this cross inherit one Z chromosome from the Rhode Island Red father and another from the Isa brown mother. Since the Rhode Island Red rooster and the Isa brown hen have the gold or red gene, the resulting plumage of the males will be a reddish-brown color. The females, on the other hand, inherit the Z chromosome from the Rhode Island Red father and the W chromosome from the Isa brown mother. Pay attention to this part. The Isa brown often carries a dominant autosomal dilution gene called buff, which converts an intense red into a lighter tone like gold or beige. By inheriting this gene, the daughters also show this effect. This explains why the newly hatched chicks have a base color of creamy yellow with faint stripes on their backs, unlike purebred Rhode Island Red chicks, which have a darker, more uniform tone. This small difference allows us to visually sex them at a glance, as the males will have slightly more pronounced and darker stripes, while the females will have a more uniform and lighter color. As adults, the males of this cross will have reddish-brown plumage with black feathers on the tail and wings. The females, in contrast, will have a uniform brown color, similar to the Isa brown, but with darker tones due to the influence of the Rhode Island Red. But genetics always surprises us. Due to the genetic complexity of the Isa brown, some chicks could show atypical traits, such as white spots or different plumage tones, although this happens in a very small percentage. This phenomenon is due to the inheritance of recessive genes like the silver gene that the Isa brown inherited from the Rhode Island White in her origins. The main purpose of this cross is to obtain chickens with greater resilience and adaptability, inheriting the robustness of the Rhode Island Red. The hybrid hens will be less prone to stress problems, as they are not as delicate as the Isa brown in extreme environments. In terms of egg production, these hybrid hens will lay an average of 280 to 300 eggs per year, which is a notable improvement over the 200 to 250 eggs of a purebred Rhode Island Red. The productive lifespan of the daughters of this cross will be longer, reaching 3 to 4 years, a perfect balance between the shorter life of the Isa brown and the greater longevity of the Rhode Island Red. Their sexual maturity is also a highlight. It's at an intermediate point between their parents, starting to lay their eggs between 20 and 22 weeks of age. Regarding weight, the male from this cross ranges between 7.7 and 8.8 pounds, 3.5 to 4 kilograms, and the hen between 5 and 6.6 pounds, 2.3 to 3 kilograms. This generally makes them heavier than their parents, resulting in faster growth and a more robust structure. The temperament of these hybrids is an ideal mix. The roosters are more vigilant and territorial than purebred Rhode Island Reds, which makes them excellent guardians for your flock. The hens, for their part, are less nervous than the Isa brown, but more active than purebred Rhode Island Reds, making them excellent foragers, ideal for free-range systems. As for their brooding instinct, like the other crosses, it's generally very low. The influence of the Isa brown tends to prevail, ensuring they focus on laying eggs rather than on incubation. Now that we have seen the real potential of the Isa brown hen to create exceptional layers of brown eggs, it's time to go one step further. What would happen if we merged her high-production genetics with breeds famous for their colored eggs? In this section, we're going to speculate on what could be achieved by crossing the Isa brown with the Araucana, the cream leg bar, and the Marans. We haven't done these crosses, but based on genetic principles, we can predict the results and dream of the perfect colored egg layer. Let's talk about the first cross. Imagine the cross of an Araucana rooster with an Isa brown hen. The most exciting result would be the production of colored eggs. The Araucana is famous for being the only chicken in the world that lays blue eggs, thanks to a dominant gene. By crossing her with the Isa brown, we could expect the offspring to inherit this gene, producing hens that lay beautiful blue or emerald green eggs. This hybrid would be a laying machine, capable of filling your coop with a true palette of colors. In terms of egg production, the resulting hybrids would inherit the high laying capacity of the Isa brown. While a purebred Araucana produces around 150 to 200 eggs per year, the offspring of this cross could significantly exceed this number, reaching an estimated production of 220 to 250 eggs annually. Their sexual maturity would also accelerate, starting to lay their first eggs earlier than a purebred Araucana. On a physical level, the chicks from this cross would probably lose the rumpless trait, having no tail, as the gene that causes this is recessive and the Isa brown lacks it. However, we could expect some offspring to inherit the characteristic tufts of feathers on their ears, giving them an exotic and unique appearance. Furthermore, they would combine the active, foraging temperament of the Araucana with the docility of the Isa brown, resulting in a curious hen well suited for foraging. In conclusion, this cross would give us a robust, good-sized layer with a notably improved egg production. But its greatest appeal would undoubtedly be the ability to produce a considerable number of blue and green eggs, a gift for any breeder who values aesthetics as much as productivity in their flock. The cross between a cream Legbar rooster and an Isa brown hen would give us a hybrid that is a true wonder of poultry. Like the Araucana, the cream Legbar is famous for laying blue eggs. However, the most incredible trait the offspring would inherit is being autosexing. The male and female chicks would likely have slightly different colored plumage from birth, allowing the breeder to differentiate them immediately, a characteristic of great value for breeding. In terms of production, this hybrid could reach the highest levels. Cream Legbars are already good layers, and by combining that genetic makeup with the Isa Browns, we could expect the daughters to easily exceed 280 eggs per year. Their sexual maturity, as in the previous case, would be precocious, starting their egg-laying journey before 22 weeks. Physically, this cross would give us medium-sized birds, with the cream-colored plumage of the cream Legbar, but with an influence of the Isa Brown's brown tones. The temperament of this hybrid would be ideal for the backyard coop, as both the cream Legbar and the Isa Brown are known for being very docile and friendly birds. In short, this hypothetical cross would create a versatile and highly productive layer, with a unique added value, the ability to sex the chicks from the moment they hatch. It would be the ideal hen for the breeder looking for efficiency, a docile temperament, and consistent production of blue or green eggs, without having to wait for the plumage to develop to know the sex of their birds. Finally, let's imagine the union of a Marans rooster with the Isa brown hen. The most valued trait of the Marans is her dark, chocolate-colored eggs. Although the color gene isn't completely dominant, the offspring of this cross could lay eggs of a very intense brown color, darker than a purebred Isa brown, adding a touch of sophistication to the breeder's egg basket. In terms of production, this cross would be ideal for those looking for a dual-purpose bird. The Marans is an excellent laying and meat chicken, so the resulting hybrid would be a very efficient layer with a superior weight, combining the high production of the Isa Brown with the physical constitution of the Marans. Egg production could be in the range of 250 eggs annually or more. The hybrid would also inherit the robustness of the Marans, a breed known for its resistance to cold climates and its calm temperament. This, added to hybrid vigor, would result in an extremely healthy and easy-to-handle bird. The offspring would have a good body size, ideal for both meat and egg production. In conclusion, this cross would give us one of the most balanced, dual-purpose chickens. It would be the perfect choice for those who don't want to choose between a meat bird and an egg layer. This hybrid would offer the best of both worlds, an efficient layer that produces beautiful dark brown eggs and a bird with a robust body structure and a calm temperament. My friends, we have reached the end of this fascinating journey. We began by unraveling the secrets of the Isa Brown, that prodigious laying machine, and then explored her most powerful unions. We saw how the cross with the Plymouth Rock gave us a layer with unique and elegant plumage. We discovered that the cross with the New Hampshire gave us a dual-purpose champion, combining eggs and meat in an unparalleled way. And we witnessed how the union with the Rhode Island Red created a super layer, a hen that is more robust and has a longer productive life. But we didn't stop there. We looked to the future, to a world of genetic possibilities. We imagined the result of crossing the Isa Brown with the Marans, the Araucana, and the cream Legbar, dreaming of hens that give us colored eggs, autosexing birds, and the perfect dual-purpose layer. Poultry farming is so much more than raising birds. It's cultivating a passion, it's science, it's genetics, it's the art of life in constant evolution. The story of each cross is a testament to how selection and dedication can lead to something truly extraordinary. If this video has sparked your curiosity, if it has inspired you to experiment and learn more about the fascinating world of poultry, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos and to support the creation of more high-quality content like this. Leave a like to let me know you value this effort. And most importantly, share this video on your social media. Together, we can make our community of bird lovers grow and help more people discover the beauty and complexity of this world. Thank you for joining me on this journey. See you in the next video. For your success, my fellow breeder. Until next time.